So, they're not going to shut me up. They're not going to take my voice. So I just tried to go live and bring this information to you guys so that we could discuss it, woman to woman, woman to man, vice versa. And what did they do? They totally disrupted the live stream. Why did they do that? Because they don't want you to know what I'm going to show you. I asked a very simple question. If I asked you what country pours more money into American universities than any other country, what country would you suggest? What's the first thing that pops in your mind? Please place that in comments. Welcome back to Starkey Formstead and probably the most stubborn woman on the face of the earth. See, YouTube quit paying me 6 months ago, not a penny. No, Israel doesn't pay me either. And I still won't be shut up because I like the truth. It makes me feel good to bring truth to you guys. So, you know what? I decided to bring the proof in a different way that they could not shut down and they could not control. Because believe it or not, my internet service, like yours, is pretty much backed up and controlled. I'm setting everything up for you guys and controlled by Google. So if I say keywords that they don't want you to hear, they just basically cut my feed unless I do it this way. So I do apologize, friends and family of the internet. Let's get busy. Qatar's footprint in the American higher education system. Notice the date, April 2nd, 2025. Let's go right down here. According to federal disclosure data, colleges and universities have accepted $6.2 billion from Qatar since 2001. Let me repeat that, $6.25 billion. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The previous Trump administration opened investigations into dozens of universities, uncovering 6.5 billion of undisclosed foreign funds. In other words, they didn't want to tell anybody where it was coming from. So a Texas judge got involved, even though Qatar filed a lawsuit in the United States against the state of Texas to not disclose it, and they made it public, revealing almost $500 million in Qatari grants and contracts to where, friends and family? The Texas A&M University. Just so you know, Georgetown University's Doha campus hosted a conference on the future of Gaza in September 2024 that featured a former Al Jazeera executive who applauded Hamas's October 7th massacre. Yeah. So I'm going to point this out to you guys. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So I started backpedaling and looking into this because, certain neoconservative podcasters love to say that it's Israel, Israel, Israel. But what they found was that the FSA's latest foreign gift and contract reporting data set shows that over 5,600 additional foreign gift and contract transitions valued at $4 billion since the department's last data release as of February 13th, 2024, that 225 institutions that self-report we need a better system from over 110 countries. The largest dollar amounts of gifts were Bermuda, Canada, Qatar, Germany, and Japan. Now, I'm curious. This is the Catholic University of America. Now, the Catholic University of America is a private coeducational institution of higher learning in Washington, D.C. It is affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church. There are 12 facilities or schools, including the Columbus School of Law, the Benjamin T. Rome School of Music, and the National Catholic School of Social Service. This university offers undergraduate curriculum in engineering, architecture, religion, and liberal arts and science. Now, I'm just curious, why would this Catholic school that was incorporated in 1887 by the Roman Catholic Church, all right, in the United States, be funded by Saudi Arabia? I'll put all of this in the information for you. Yes, you heard me right. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, And yeah, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, along with France, has made numerous gifts to this college. I mean, we're talking millions upon millions of dollars. Why would Muslim countries be funding a Catholic university in the United States? Muslim nations are donating huge amounts to American universities. Here's why. Now, this broke in 2019 during Trump's first inauguration, his first campaign, but for some reason, most of us didn't pay much attention. It says the Turning Point Project found that, it says here that the not so well known fact that Hitler was, in many respects, a progressive. And like progressives everywhere, Hitler saw young people as the vanguard of his movement. By the way, if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee or my dog's a treat, please look in the top of comments. If you include your email, I'll get you on our newsletter. Thus, when an opponent declares, I will not come over to your side, I say calmly, your child belongs to us already. What are you? You're going to pass on. Your descendants, however, now stand in the new camp. And in a short time, they will know nothing but this new community. I thought of this as I was reading a recently released Clarion Project report on foreign influence ops on U.S. universities. Now, college students are not children, but neither were many of the Hitler youth. Moreover, most college students today seem to enjoy a prolonged adolescence that was not available to people in the 1930s. When foreign donors give large sums of money to already wealthy American colleges, why would they do that? What do they get out of it? Are they doing it simply out of the goodness of their hearts? Or is there some kind of influence operation going on that you and I weren't aware of? What would we think if historians discovered that Hitler's government had given huge sums of money to select British and American universities in the years leading up to World War II? What would you think if I said, I uncovered that Germany, the Nazis were giving money to the biggest universities in Britain and the United States 10 years, 20 years before World War II? Well, what I am telling you is that Qatar has been pumping billions of dollars into the United States universities prior to the October 7th, 2023 genocide and terror attack against Israel. Since 2012, this was written in 2019, they had donated Qatar $376 million to Carnegie Mellon University, $351 million to Georgetown, $340 million to Northwestern University, $270 million to Texas A&M, $41 million to the Virginia Commonwealth University. In the same time frame, Saudi Arabia has donated $83 million to MIT, $75 million to George Washington University, $59 million to George Mason University, $31 million to Harvard, and $30 million to the University of Kansas. Other large gifts to U.S. universities from the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Iraq, Turkey, Pakistan, Syria, and Lebanon. Islam, in case you didn't know, likes to, send over people to evangelize Western countries. They gobble up when they come in mass. They promote something called the I can't say this, Wahhabism, a puritanical and theocratic version of Islam. It inspires Sunni jihadists around the world. And if you didn't know, the Qatari government is a strong supporter of Hamas and other terrorist groups. As far as I know, no American university has expressed shock at this rank influence peddling, unlike those who turned down, when Rudy Giuliani turned down $10 million from the Saudis after 9/11, universities don't seem to mind accepting money with strings attached. And And what's funny is these academics are outraged when the Department of Education threatened to cut funding for a Middle East Studies program run by Duke University and the University of North Carolina. The letter from the Education Department cited courses that failed to provide a balance of perspectives. According to the letter, the positive aspects of Islam were emphasized, but though there was no similar attention to the positive aspects of Christianity or Judaism. I'm just curious. We're a Christian country. Here's the one I really want you to take home. I'm going to read something. I didn't pull this article up. I'll link it in the description and you can go look at it. This article was written by the Arab American News. Arab American News. A new chapter in Candace Owens' voice. By the way, when Candace Owens married her husband, he and her became part of the SSPX Catholic Church, the Jesuits. And those people hate the Jewish people. So Owens' criticism of Israel cannot be separated from her evolving worldview. For years, she has regarded as a staunch voice on the American right, someone who fought against cancel culture and defended the forgotten men and women of America. Yet, her willingness to critique Israel reveals a shift or perhaps an expansion in her understanding of justice. By calling Israel a cult nation, she is not only attacking the political system of Zionism, but also exposing what she sees as a manufactured worship that grips American politics and media. To her, this cult is not simply about religious loyalty, but about political conformity. Her declaration does not mean she has embraced the talking points of the progressive left. Rather, she is crafting a unique space, a blend of conservative values with an insistence on truth-telling, even when it threatens to disrupt traditional alliances. In this sense, her courage recalls the rare political figures who dare to defy the machinery of the consensus and pay the price for their independence. Yeah. Candace Owens' remarks about Israel, Palestinians, Muslims, and Zionist influence are more than an isolated statement. They are part of a broader awakening that is sweeping across the globe. People are beginning to question the narratives that have been imposed upon them for generations. They are asking whether the stories they were told about good guys and bad guys, heroes and villains, align with the evidence before their eyes. Again, they say Candace Owens' story is still being written, but in her willingness to call Israel a cult nation, to denounce the indiscriminate killing of Palestinians, and to acknowledge the suffering of Muslims after 9/11, she has already proven that her voice is not one of conformity, but of defiance. And in the new defiance lies the potential to inspire a new generation to question, to resist, to see through the illusions that have blinded them for far too long. Arab American News. Well done, Candy Qatari. A lot of people don't understand the life of social media influences. A lot of people peddle vitamins, clothing, um, everything. Who do you need to buy your gold from? Who do you need to invest with? What's the best phone security system? And the bigger they get, the more they peddle because, and then they sell their merchandise. You know what I'm saying? But the real concern is that when these neoconservatives, like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, they are not conservative. They are controlled opposition that have been put here to disrupt and destroy the conservative party. And you and I, as Christians, we have an obligation to put back. pushback, to seriously push back, especially when something like this comes out. Qatar paid over $200,000 for Tucker Carlson interview. Laura Loomer found this. Of course, he's going to deny it, but you can find it yourself. It says here that there was a paid interview between Tucker Carlson and Qatar's prime minister, citing newly surfaced FARA, Foreign Agents Registration Act filings. The embassy paid $200,000 to secure the interview. And this is what the interview said. The purpose, the interview with Prime Minister of Qatar regarding war with Iran. The Prime Minister of Qatar is being attacked in the media for wanting to stop it. Who's the contact? Tucker Carlson, the Tucker Carlson Show. Method in person. Date, February 26, 2025. Where? Embassy of the State of Qatar. Wake up. Wake up. America. They have been, since 2001, spending billions of dollars, the Middle East, in America, Muslims, Islamic terrorist countries. I also want to read an article, just a hair, not very much. This is from the Iranian intel.com. All of this will be in description. A win for Tehran. Experts assess Carlson's Iran interview. Tucker Carlson's interview with Iran's president was all Tehran could wish for. Experts told Iran International a global stage, no pushback, and a direct line to Donald Trump's base. This was a major victory for Iranian information warfare operations, whether intentionally or not. Carlson is acting as a significant conduit and amplifier for Iranian government information operations. Wow. One of the main goals of the Islamic Republic is to get the U.S. out of the Middle East. And when you're pushing this isolationist rhetoric or America first, you're basically saying America needs to get out. So what you're seeing is that what is the goal of the Muslims and the Islamic insane people in the Middle East? They want America out of the Middle East. They want America, the watchdog of freedom for the entire world, out. How are they going to do it? They're going to pay Tucker Carlson. They're going to pay Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, any of those people that they can, however they can. They're going to pay them to America first. So that's how Tucker and Candace both present themselves. I'm not for Israel. I'm for America, so I have a right to ask these questions. Let me ask you a question. If you had to choose to live in the Middle East, what country that is there right this minute would you choose to live in? And why? I really am curious, because I can tell you right now, I would not choose to live in any of them but Israel. They are our ally. We serve the same God. Allah is not God. Allah is Satan. They believe in child marriage. They believe women are nothing. They can lie to your face. And if they come into your country, they're going to force you to pay a tax, or they're going to force you to convert, or they're going to assassinate you. They're not peaceful. They have no intentions when they come to America to become American. If you really want to know why, take a look at Great Britain, Germany, Switzerland. And all those countries have now turned on Israel. And who funded, Trump told us, who funded the mass immigration into America and other countries? The United Nations. Who else? The Catholic Church. Then we find that Muslim countries have been funding private Catholic churches in the United States. And what sect of Catholicism is Candace Owens? SSPX. The Jew hating ones. The Jesuits and the Muslims are working hand in hand to bring the Antichrist here. And they will have you destroy America. Your children have already been brainwashed. You need to sit your kids down and explain to them why Christians should support Israel. You should push back against all the ideas that your young adults have about the Middle East. You need to go to the sites that I'm going to put in description and see how much Muslim money, blood money, is being pumped into your child's university before you send them there. Just saying, friends and family. That's the real truth. By the way, I saw somebody that I watch. I did a short on it. He was like, I cannot turn on TikTok to upload a video, and there's not one video after another. I only trust Candace. Candace is telling the truth. Even the algorithms are pushing her BS. So anytime the mainstream narrative becomes that big, I already know. I already know. So like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think, because this is big. This is big. This is huge. Everybody's like, that's all you hear from Candace. Israel, Israel. Whoa, they're cold. They're cold. Why aren't you talking about how Muhammad went into a cave and fought with a demon, came out of the cave, and then married a 9-year-old that he had anal sex with? Candace, is it because that you supported and you're all over the Iranian news? You are a shahab, whatever? Come on now. Come on. You guys aren't that. No, not the people that watch me. You are way smarter than that. You guys know what I'm saying. It's witchcraft on her part. You better be careful. I love you guys so much. Talk to you later.